Okay. Shit, wait.
Got it.
Take one. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. We have a special guest with us today. Andrew, say hi.
Hey guys.
And today we're going to be talking about a documentary called Heroin.
It won't be the usual funny stuff we talk about on this show.
Yeah, actually, we're going to be talking about an Oscar-nominated short film called Heroin. It's on Netflix, so for those of you lazy bums who watch other stuff on Netflix, you need to watch this documentary.
This documentary talks about heroin addicts that... No, I can cut it. This documentary talks about heroin addicts and how people in the local community help them get back on their feet. Mm-hmm. It is filmed in Huntington, West Virginia,
yes.
right? And the town has been referred to as the overdose capital of America.
Crazy.
And the overdose death rate is 10 times the national average.
Insane.
Gosh, that to me is just crazy. Like, that statistic is just sad, honestly. But it's really sad to see how things like this continue to happen and how many people don't know about it.
I know. I mean, this is why we're filming this, right?
I wasn't even aware until I watched the documentary.
Same here, bro.
Yeah, but this documentary is just more than just showing what's happening in West Virginia. It actually shows the social responsibility that people in the community have to help these addicts who need to better themselves. So you guys need to pay attention to that as well.
So this documentary, this review, we'll be talking about 3 heroic ladies who take a huge role in the documentary and let you guys know, oh my god, I'm gonna do that again.
No, but for sure we just need to talk about how much of a huge impact of women empowerment this film takes in. Sorry, Andrew.
It's okay.
But yeah, we're going to tell you guys about 3 heroic ladies in this film that we want you guys to know a little bit about, and we're going to inform you just a little bit more about them.
Yes, so this film shows so much women empowerment. We got 3 heroic ladies like she just said.
Mm-hmm. So the first lady I want to talk about is actually Jan Rader, and I hope I'm saying her name right, and if I'm not, then sorry, whatever. But she's actually the first female deputy fire chief in West Virginia, which I think is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually this one thing that Jan Rader says in the film, and it's actually kind of sad. She says, I think we've lost a couple of generations to this crisis, and that kind of hurt my heart a little bit.
I mean, losing a generation, losing people, is just, like, we're supposed to be the future of the youth, and if we kept getting ourselves into things like this, I mean, what is the future going to hold for us, like, or for anyone?
My girl right there.
Well said.
Yep, actually in West Virginia it's a huge issue right now. Usually the reason why people are becoming addicted to heroin is because, when they go to the hospital and they get their pain meds, they run out of money to go back and get their pain meds, so they rely on heroin, and that's how they get addicted. But sometimes people also get addicted because of like depression or maybe like
I also think
temptation.
it's like, if your friends do it, of course you're going to do it. That peer pressure, sometimes you just can't escape from that.
Especially in the overdose capital of America, I think
True.
there's definitely some kids peer pressuring other kids to do heroin.
But throughout the film, you will see that she's, like, Jan Rader is actually trying to make a difference in people's lives and in her community. She forms relationships with people who are on the road to recovery that try to better themselves.
Yeah, I remember there's actually this one other lady overcoming addiction who helps the 3 ladies we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Actually, her name is Nessia Freeman. I think it's Nessia Freeman. I'm pretty sure. But you guys, this lady that we're going to talk about, the second lady we're going to talk about, is incredible. She's actually a minister for a program called Brown Bag Ministry.
Yeah.
Okay, and so in that Brown Bag Ministry, they make these little brown bags and they put stuff in there for women who are on the streets.
Like feminine products.
Yeah, feminine products that they might need or even for food.
Yeah.
And they give it out to them. They ask them if they want to like get to like what am I looking for? Getting help off of the street.
And what I like, what she does is she kind of relates it to faith in God.
Yeah,
she
so
adds
she
that little
preaches the word
aspect,
of God to the
which
girls.
I think is important because I think people that lose their way usually lose their faith in something because.
And she doesn't just like push it on them. Like if they don't want to hear it, she doesn't tell them about it.
It's just in there. If they see it, it might be a sign. They might look at it like, oh wow, this is actually a sign.
Which is really nice, you guys, because like most people try to push the word of God like on these girls and tell them like, oh, like you're going to hell or whatever, which I think is kind of messed up. But like Nessia, she talks to them as if they're an actual like human being. Like she doesn't look at them as a prostitute.
Opportunity of what God can help them, like
I
guide
think
them.
it's help first, God second, and I love that about her.
That's true. Yep.
There you go. Let's see. And I also think that it's also admirable of Nasia how she risks her own safety for these girls.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
totally agree.
Like how she goes out and she drives out on those streets because, like, I mean, they're dangerous and those girls walk those streets
and
too.
they live in like these dark alleys that,
It's sketchy.
yeah.
All
But
kinds of sketchy.
but what I actually like about her a lot is she treats them like actual people.
Yeah.
And not just like prostitutes or not just criminals. She treats them like they deserve a second chance because we all deserve a second chance or
Definitely,
third or
definitely.
whatever. She
But
doesn't judge them.
What I don't get to, you guys have to pay attention to this part in the film, is that Nasia says something really important, is that she doesn't know why the women that are prostitutes are getting arrested. It's why aren't the men who are buying the women getting arrested.
But I think that leads us to our third and final person, like final important person in the documentary we want
I
to
almost
talk
forgot
about.
about that. You guys, this film is so good. You need to watch it. Oh my god.
Our third person we want you to meet is Patricia Keller.
Now this girl, she knows how to lay down the law.
Yeah, not someone I want to mess with, but she also has a soft side. She doesn't like to punish these addicts. She wants to get them in rehab programs. Throughout the film, you see her talking with them.
Definitely.
She's super nice, but she's very stern. What a strong woman.
Which is really good because she doesn't just like throw them in jail just to like get rid of them, you know? She's actually trying to make them like a better person and make them like become like a better person on the inside and the outside.
And a better person for society.
Exactly, I agree.
So she really is one of a kind. There aren't many judges like her in this world or this country, this freaking universe, I have to say.
That is true.
Another thing about this documentary is I think it kind of lacks real life footage.
What do you mean by that?
Like, they don't exactly show the real terrors of people getting overdosed or people using heroin. They just show them being rescued, kind of.
I think that's what you guys need to pay attention to in the film is exactly what Rain just said.
It kind of lacks like,
Realism?
Yeah, I think it's that, but
I mean, I guess it does, but that does not like necessarily make it a bad documentary.
yeah, it's really not. It's just I think that the lack of real life footage, it pushes people to look beyond just a documentary. It's like, oh, there's something that's happening that I
Right,
don't know, like what
right.
Andrew said at the start, you know? He didn't know about it until we were required to watch this documentary.
But I also think it's because it's less explicit content that it would make more people be like, I guess I would say more comfortable with watching it.
Which I think is important because the larger amount of people that watch it, the more educated they get and the more they can do to be proactive citizens of a community.
Yeah, definitely the public are the people that impact change, and you want to reach as many of them as possible. So I definitely think this was a good decision.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but do you think it's because it lacked like real life footage? I mean, people would think that the opioid crisis wasn't important enough to be showed.
Yeah, do you think people might not have paid as much attention because there wasn't enough real life footage?
Well, I don't think people pay too much attention to that. I think they pay more attention to how the addicts had a great community to help them get back on their feet and grow.
I strongly believe it is easier too to like overcome when you have a support system.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people need a good support system. I mean, like if you don't have like any friends or family to go through this kind of thing, then I think it's just harder to
Get through anything.
overcome that.
Yeah.
I actually remember reading a review specifically about this documentary.
Do you really?
Yeah.
It was the one on the Nova Recovery Center, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was that one. So the first key point they talked about was how it was important to treat people like people and not addicts.
It's easy to see those people as criminals too, but like instead of like just locking them away and like just getting rid of them, but like with long prison sentences, what would that like solve?
Hey,
If that makes sense, like what
Yeah.
would that solve?
you guys pay attention. Addicts are people. They deserve rehabilitation. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, boys.
Actually, not
You
here
heard it
first from
here
heroin,
first.
but they deserve it.
But heroin showed that the addicts who worked with the various social worker, the judge, and the fire chief, and show how these women have impacted their lives. So all this girl power, so good. So juicy.
Girl power. 2 against 1.
Skirt out of here.
Yeah, for the first time, the documentary showed addicts as people and not criminals, and I think it's been like that for too long. It's been too much criminal and not enough human.
Exactly, and these addicts need to be helped in order to change the community and for the better. To paraphrase the word of Judge Patricia Keller, the city can't grow. If the addicts simply get arrested, sent to jail, and come using, they must be rehabilitated so they can join the workforce.
Well freaking said.
So good.
The film does an excellent job of showing these addicts as people. People, not criminals. Especially at the promotion of Jan Rader to fire chief. At her promotion, like, little ceremony, she's hugged by multiple addicts who, it's kind of weird, like, she got them off the street and kind of arrested them, but she was actually just helping them.
She actually, like, has a relationship with these people.
She saved their life.
She got them back on their feet. Which
She
I
got
think
them,
is
like,
super
what?
important. She got them back.
She got them back.
And she gave them, like, she helped them get normal lives again and be proactive citizens of the workforce or of society.
Right? Or when we hear the judge, yeah, I know what you mean. Just forget what I said.
Heroin really gave these people a name and a face to change public opinion, which is the only way we're really going to affect large-scale change, and I think heroin did a great job of that.
Right, and all the interaction between the women and the addicts show that the work that these people had in their personal testimonies all related, like, to this program and to how it's, like, designed to help these people get back on their feet and to get a job. Because remember that one guy that the judge... I can't tell. Never mind.
No spoilers. So, maybe we could all learn to help these people so that those brave women didn't have to constantly save people from overdoses on a daily basis.
You're right. And after all, I mean, these people, before they were addicts, the city can't grow if it hasn't healed.
The second key point we want you to know is that everybody can do something to affect their community. That means you.
Ooh, say that one more time. Just say that one more time.
Everyone
Brother.
can do something to affect their community. That means you.
And you don't necessarily, you guys don't need a title. Like, you don't need to be the first,
Deputy fire chief.
yeah, that's...
Female deputy fire
Female
chief.
deputy fire chief, thank you.
Judge.
Okay, the judge, the minister, okay? You can be anyone to help your community.
All you have to do is show that you care and do tiny little things that can easily help the community grow.
Exactly.
Just as Nessia Freeman did.
Right. Ooh, gross.
It's really about taking the opportunities presented to you and using it to help more people than just yourself.
Exactly, which brings us to the third point of the Nova Recovery Center that states that the opioid crisis won't be solved within one single solution or by one person.
It takes teamwork and willingness of more than just one person.
That means all of us, guys, including you.
The opioid crisis will be an ongoing problem West Virginia has to face. What we can do is get the word out there, just like heroin did.
I guess it's safe to say, you guys, that this documentary is literally a solid 20 out of 10. I would watch it again. Make all my friends watch it if I could, but they watch... What do they watch?
I mean, did you call your mom right after you watched it?
I literally did. I'm not even joking.
Take 39 minutes out of your life. That's all it is. That's basically
That's
a normal show. Like, that's not even long. Just watch this documentary, please. It'll change your life.
One episode of a TV series you
Oh,
probably
no.
already spend hours watching. But thanks for watching today's episode.
Wait, guys, come back. I have one more thing to say. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and comment down below what you guys want us to do
Tell
more.
Sarah to give us an A in the comments.
Tell Sarah to